Now, how can you invest from Europe? A lot of people have asked me how you can invest in things like index funds and ETFs from Europe. Now, it's a very simple process. Just like all other countries, you need to just, confirm your identity, find a platform that can accept you, and so on. But in this video, I also want to talk briefly about an issue that some Europeans have brought up with me, and that's that it's basically impossible to invest in ETFs from Europe. That actually is not the case. Basically, if you invest with a platform maybe regulated in the EU, there are now some restrictions because of MiFID II and other issues. However, it is not the case that if you are investing with a platform outside of the EU that it's impossible to invest in ETFs. And also it depends where you are resident. So if you're a European resident, which is, well, 28 countries, right? And you're, say, living outside of the EU, so you're not you're a European citizen, but not a resident, if you see what I mean. Let's say you're an expat in China, Japan, or Canada, or whatever. Also, many platforms are not changing anything. So there's a lot of misinformation about this. This idea that if you're from the EU, or indeed if you're a resident in the EU, you can't invest in ETFs. That's just not true. It depends on several factors, including where you are resident and also where the platform is regulated. A great example of this, and people often forget that, is this. Say if you're in the UK as an example, you don't have to invest obviously in a British regulated product. So if you send your money overseas, common sense tells you that actually the overseas jurisdiction is then the jurisdiction that counts. Now, as an example, let's say you're a British person, so right now still in the European Union, and you invest in a platform in, I don't know, Dubai or Canada or Australia or whatever. Obviously, in that case, it's the Australian law that counts, and there's nothing about UK law which stops people from sending their money overseas. So I find a lot of people, they confuse the idea that because you're based in one area, that always means that you have to keep the money in that particular area. Of course, that's not true. And so there's been a lot of misinformation about this online. So I would say don't particularly worry about it. Seek advice where possible, but it's a very simple process to invest in ETFs or indeed index funds in Europe. You just have to find a platform either in Europe or outside that will take you and will take ETFs or index trackers. Okay, everyone, have a good day.